You hear that crunch? Unbelievable. Benvenuti and welcome to another episode of Taste This with Frank Gallo. Tonight, something very interesting. Tonight, something that goes back to the 10th century. We're going to make friselle, one of my mom's favorite things. It's actually a bread that is baked. It's dried and hardened, and it can last for a really long time. It looks like a cut open bagel, but it is really, really good. And the reason behind making friselle during the 10th century is many merchants from Italy were forced to go out to sea for many months at a time to seek out new markets and bring back products to Italy. Well, they didn't have much storage, so they had to make something that would last long and continue to be edible after long periods of time. Well, the friselle was great because all they had to do was dip it in some seawater and put a little olive oil on top of it, and they had a meal. I'll show you how to make it. Stay tuned. Okay, for our ingredients we have extra virgin olive oil, a half cup of all-purpose regular flour, a full cup of whole wheat flour, sea salt, a third of a cup of warm water, and yeast. Now we're making a small portion today because there's only two of us here and I don't want to make too many friselle, and that's why the small amount of flour. We'll start out by placing this 2/3 of a cup of water into our bowl. Then I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of yeast. And I'm going to mix it very thoroughly. You can already smell the yeast starting to activate. There it is right there. I'm going to start to bring in my flour. And stir it into the yeasted water. That's the regular flour. Now I'm going to introduce a little bit of whole wheat flour at a time. And when you make bread, or any type of bread actually, it's really a very light kneading. It's almost like a no-knead bread. We're just going to mix it. Now I'm going to add my tablespoon of salt. This will also help to preserve it over long periods of time. At this point I'm going to add my olive oil, about 2 tablespoons, and the remainder of my flour. Now you notice again I made a very small portion here because it's just the two of us here and we don't want to be up to our ears in friselle. And there you can see that's basically what you're looking for. Now what I like to add to this, believe it or not, to give it a little sweetness, is some honey, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go with about a teaspoon of honey. A teaspoon of honey. There you go. That's going to give it some sweetness. Here's our cling wrap. Try to make it as airtight as you can. Cover it really well like that. Okay, it has been 2 hours and our dough has risen to as much as it's going to rise. I'm going to take it out of the plate here. I'll throw down some flour. We'll throw down just a little bit of all-purpose flour. And I'll show you what we're going to do. And we're just going to give it a little light kneading here. Because remember, it's bread, basically. Not too much, just a little light kneading here. I'm going to put a little olive oil on the base of a pan here. Now I'll show you what we're going to do. Cut a small piece like that. I'm just going to roll it out. Pull and roll at the same time. I'm going to turn it, and we'll turn it into basically what looks like a little bagel. You can make them big and small, big or small, whatever you like. I'll make a small one here. I'll make the next one a little bit bigger. There's only going to be about 2 or 3 of them that come out of this batch. Because there's only 2 of us here, so there's no need for me to make a ton of these. This one's a little bit bigger, as you can see. It goes right onto my pan here. I actually have a really huge pan here for no reason whatsoever. And this one I'll make even bigger. See if I can make this one even bigger. Okay, so once we've done this, we've got our 3 friselle already made. Very simple. Gonna throw them on here. Right? And I'll transfer them to a smaller pan. And now I'm gonna let them rise for 1 more hour. We're gonna cover them up and let them sit 1 more hour, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so they've risen for an hour now, and now we're going to place them into the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes, or until they're hard enough to cut. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, and now they are hard enough to cut, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. As you can see, they look exactly like bagels. So they were in the oven at 475 degrees for 5 minutes. And now what I'm going to do is place them into a bigger pan, because obviously I have twice the amount now. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on them. And now I'm going to let them cook for about 15 to 20 minutes at 475. And we'll check them along the way. And here we have a beautiful friselle right out of the oven. They were 20 minutes at 475. Look how beautiful. Exactly the way they're supposed to be cooked. See the back? See how nice and hard they are? Look, you hear that? That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly the way they're supposed to be. It's time to taste this. Friselle with Frank Gallo. Are you ready? Are you ready to taste this beautiful friselle? Here we go. You hear that crunch? Unbelievable. So delicious. So fantastic. Now, in a day or 2, when they cool and get really hard, that's when you can dip them into your wine. You can dip them into your coffee. You can make a bruschetta out of them. You can do whatever you want. You can even eat them hard like this. Well, they're fantastic. You see, we just dip it in the wine like this. See, look. You take it out, you have the wine flavor. Oh my. Wow. Guys, I want to thank you for watching this episode of Taste This with Frank Gallo. Mama Gallo's beautiful friselle. I need you to like this video. I need you to subscribe to my channel so that I can continue to bring you all of Mama Gallo's greatest recipes. Thank you. And there's one more thing. One very, very important thing. I love you, Mama. Rest in peace. Thank you for everything.